Okay, so I've been working on this track for a while, and this is yeah no this isn't Ulasile, not yet. That's gonna be a little bit later. Um, but yeah, so I've been working on this track on the live stream for a while, and yeah, I've made some changes since the last show. So I'll just peep through. I'll just play it all the way through so you can see kind of what I'm going with. Okay, cool. So yeah, I definitely made some changes in between last show and this show. I added ARPs in the drop. Let's see, where are those suckers? Here. Here we go. To kind of accompany these chords, kind of keep the flow going, especially with these types of tracks, you need some sort of forward movement. So I use the strings and the arps to do that. Yeah, I could turn that up a little bit. Hey, stopped up. How's it going? And let's see, what else did I add? I added some ambiance, or kind of like some, yeah, ambiance would be a good way to put it in here. Yeah, so this orchestral percussion added all this. It just kind of chills in the background and adds some body to that track and some color to it. And then, of course, the drops. This drop switch is new. And then the different chord arrangement here. Okay, yeah, so I think that's all I added. Oh yeah, an outro. But so I don't have a lot of time here because we have another show going on. I usually go later until, hold on a second, the mic is down. I usually go later until 8:30, but we have another show that we had to squeeze in. So I'm going until 7:15 today. So my attempt, at least my hope, is to get a mix down done in that time. Because I'm pretty much done with this track. There, that should do it. So I kind of have a strategy for doing these mix downs. I'm going to be looking at all the pieces of the song and specifically looking at looking at the EQ, make sure every single element has an EQ. Second, make sure every single element has a space. So make sure it's got a space in the EQ in the spectrum and also in the stereo fields. And then also make sure it's at the right loudness, which is going to be compression. We'll turn up the mic more. Kadron, is that any better? Let me know. Yeah. So then I'm also going to adjust the loudness via compression and limiting saturation. So pretty much we're looking to EQ everything, make sure everything's got its space, make sure everything's got its loudness. Not sure what you caught because the mic was low. Okay, perfect. So let's start off in the drop, or at least in this intro. And we're just going to go through everything. And if I'm going a little quick, sorry about that. I'm just going to be rushing through since I have a shortened show today. So kick and snare. So make sure they all have their EQs. So yeah, I got an EQ on that. It's saturated, so it's got its loudness. And space-wise, let's do a mid side on this actually. So that's the mid, and then the side we want to make sure there's nothing down. There shouldn't be any side in this since it's the kick. Yeah. So I'm gonna put a utility on that. Since the kicks we're gonna want in mono, at least the majority of it's gonna want to be in mono, so it pops through on club speakers. So just to ensure that, gonna pull the width down to 0. Okay, and then this kick layer is kind of unique because it's got a little side to it. I already did some mid-side processing on it. I just want to make sure that the mid, yeah, so the mid is right here. It doesn't have any low subby regions in it, 100 hertz and less. And then the side, or at least, sorry, I messed that up. The mid can have the subby regions. The side, I don't want it. So I'm actually going to probably pull that up a little more. And I think I'll also put a kind of a wall on that just to ensure that there's nothing down there. And then the mid, I just pulled down the mid so that this is mostly just side. Okay, so listen to them together. Where is it at volume wise? Okay, hitting about 9 dB. And then now we're going to listen to them in context. Okay, so they're punching through nice. I just noticed there might be some audio crackling. I think my computer's freaking out because I have a lot going on this track. But you should still be able to get the gist of what I'm doing. Okay, so now we're going to go on to that snare. The Jack U snare. Okay, so same thing with the kick. Fortunately, kicks and snares are pretty similar. So I did some mid-side processing on it already. Pretty much the mid, I put a lot of saturation on it just to make sure that it really smacks through the mid. And without it, yeah, so it just really smacks right in the mid. And then the sides. And I actually might do some mid-side processing on this one too. Yeah, we're going to do mid-side. So here's the mid. I'm fine with that. The side, I am going to filter it. Scoop it. Wow, that's a lot of side. Okay. And I really didn't have to do, I got the EQ, I got the space, and then the loudness already. Okay, so in context now. So you'll probably notice that I'm pulling out my headphones every once in a while to listen to on my laptop speakers. Kind of gives me another reference point. You want to make sure that your stuff sounds great on all speakers. If I had a lot of time, I would be switching out with my monitors too. I might do a little bit of that, but we'll see. Okay, so kick and snare are good. Let's make sure the kick and snare is good and the rest of the track. Let's just do it that way. Maybe give it some context. I think I'm going to freeze some of this stuff. Let's just freeze all this mid. That might take a while. Not worth it. I think it'll take a while. Okay, so something I'm noticing is that I could have that duck. So I already have sidechain set up here, so I think I'm just going to copy some of that. And I'm just going to paste that sidechain here so it ducks for me. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure freezing just renders it to the disk. Actually, what it does is, as I think when you freeze it, it kind of renders it, and then if you bounce it from that freeze, it turns it into audio. So a lot of these right now are MIDI, or they're audio with tons and tons of effects on it. So when you freeze, then it's consolidating that and, rendering it from the disk as an audio. So when you have big projects like this, it's almost crucial to freeze them. Okay, I don't think the side chain's going through. Let's see though. Okay, yeah, that works. Yes, yes. When you freeze a track, you can then thaw it and unfreeze it so you can manipulate it again. But if you freeze a track and then convert it to audio, you cannot undo it. Well, I guess you could Control Z it, but other than that, you can't. Kadrian, you get 1 pun point. Okay, yeah, it can't handle it. I'm going to do a freeze on it. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go kind of horizontally, going to process the kicks all the way through the track, make sure they work well, and then just kind of keep going down the line. And then whenever I stop, I'll just make a note of it, and then I'll probably do the rest off stream. I kind of have a bass house track going that I'm hoping to work on in the next stream. To kind of switch things up. I think this is maybe the 4th stream working on this track. Yeah, see, this is why I didn't want to freeze everything, because I knew it was going to take a long time. But this is a good opportunity to say that if you haven't followed us on Twitch, go ahead and do it. We're 2 followers away from 400, and if we can make that happen in this stream, that would be awesome. So please hit that follow button. Got a lot of cool stuff. This show is an example, but we also have demo listens. We have EP listens. We have Nostalgia showing you how he makes his awesome basses. We have Asphyxiate. A lot of cool stuff. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, that worked. Oh yeah, totally. If you're going to be sharing projects with other people, you want to bounce them out to audio stems. Even if they do have the same plugins, you don't know what version they're going to have, so you definitely want to bounce them out to audio and share stems. But you'll see a lot of artists will, even if they are sharing and someone else does have the plugin, you'll still bounce out to stems just because some people think it's easier to work with stems. The bass house track, I was doing that. I was bouncing out so that I could consolidate everything and it doesn't look as complicated. I could process it in my mind better. Okay, so let's go to the drop and check out the kick and snare. Okay, time to freeze more stuff. Let's see, can I freeze these? So the issue that just happened is I tried to freeze this flex lead, but it wouldn't let me because it's doing an in. It's monitoring. So what it's actually monitoring is all these high mids, mid dubs, low, drop ARP are going into this flex lead. So you know I can't freeze it because it's not. There's no information on that channel. It's just receiving information. How's it going, Grant Tonic? You make any cool stuff recently? You find a job yet? Almost there. 75, 76. but one of the things I don't think I've done a lot of in this track is loudness. So I know the kick and the snare are loud because I just normally naturally always remember to do that. But I don't think I have saturation, OTT on a lot of the other stuff. But it already sounds pretty loud. I guess I'll have to check the RMS on it to see where we're at with that. Okay. Let's see if that helps. Let's listen into context, into the drop. I think I could maybe do harder compression, because I think I could have the kick and the snare, you know, they're not peaking out as much as I'd want. But I'm getting a similar issue. I think I need to mess with the release. So I was getting this issue earlier when Nostalgia was hanging out on the stream. These double kicks kind of in here cause some issues and they make it sound really choppy. So let's see if we can address that. So I'm thinking I'm going to try this. We're going to cut them, paste them, and then we're going to reduce the volume on them. So that's too much. Let's see. Because that's not even triggering it. Let's go with -2. That works. Okay, so we'll just paste that all over. And one more to go. So if you weren't here for the other stream, pretty much what this is doing is it's a muted channel that is an audio bounce of my kicks. And this muted channel is causing the side chain compression on the mids basses and is also on the subs, I think. No, it is not. So let's fix that too. So we'll just drop this right here. But the sub, we probably want to do it a little softer. Okay, and I'm trying to reduce the amount of popping on these, so I'm pulling out the release. Okay, that should make it a little bit more subtle. And ideally I don't want the snare really side chaining this, but the snare's got a little pop in it, so you know, it's fine. Okay, so let's go check out the break. Okay, probably the other thing's gonna be this.
It's like I've waited.
Okay, and there are some new synths in there, but I'll get to those later.
It ain't your rainbow.
Okay, so I need to do all those doubles over again. Because you hear that kind of the awkward, like, double side chain. Yeah, so that's a lot softer now. Does that pattern go the whole time? Let's see if I turn this down even more. Will it still trigger the side chain? I don't think it does. Nah. Okay, so let's do like negative 2.5. Finicky game. Sounds like it was. Nah. Okay, just gotta stick with 2. Oop, I added another little bit in there. So this is pretty picky, but it's really important to get the right mix down. It really helps with that. Okay, let's see. Got 15 minutes to go. Save. Okay, so let's take a listen to the let's start mixing down the aux percussion. Okay, so let's make sure it's all got EQs. Okay, so that's fine. And what's the place? How do I have these placed? Left, right. I think that's an effect. Something was a little loud. Trap hat comes in next. Okay, found one. No EQ. I knew I'd find one of them. When you're blasting through tracks and just getting ideas down, you forget stuff. So we'll just do a stereo on this. Pull that up.
Pulling back the rain, letting go again. Pulling back the rain, letting go again. I'm not afraid. I'm not. Pulling back the rain.
Okay, and I think I'm gonna do a mid side and add more stereo to this, so these should sit nice on the outside.
Pulling back.
So right now they're kind of sitting in the middle. So I'm gonna drag my mid side rack in here. It's not a very big one, maybe like a B cup, but I'm gonna drag it in there. I think it's big enough to do the job.
Pulling back the rain, letting go.
Okay, so we're gonna add some more side to there. Probably add way more. And pull some of that down.
Pulling back the rain, letting go again.
See, so now that's kind of sitting on, it's kind of sitting here. Well, the other stuff, the orchestral stuff is sitting like here. So it's kind of got a nice pocket in there. And it lets the kick and the snare, the transits of that sit in the middle while these sit a little bit outside of that.
Pulling back the rain, letting.
Okay, and the ride I could probably throw really far out to the stereo. Yeah, so we're going to toss another mid side on here. And oops, I probably want to cut those 18K and higher. Might not take much, so let's do that, and let's do this, -2.
At my feet, keep me grounded as I reach.
Cool, and I think that's all the percussion in that section. So just because I added stereo, let's check it in mono to make sure I didn't completely make them disappear. So that side's muted. Okay, cool.
At my feet, keep me grounded as I
That sounds weird. What's going on there?
keep me.
Let's try my plugin.
At my feet, keep me grounded as I reach. Higher than the sea, is there something that's for me? Pulling back.
Okay, so I overdid it with the ride because now I really can't hear it. So I'm going to pull down, or I'll just keep the mid up.
At my feet, keep me grounded as I reach. Higher than the sea, is there something that's for me? Pulling back the rain, letting.
Yeah, and I can tell there's other plugins that I've really lost. There's other stuff that I've lost a lot of. Like I've lost a lot of the mids and the basses, so I'll need to make sure I'm gonna check it in mono again. Okay, so let's do the build now. So there's this orchestra crash. So that's got a nice sizzle on it. It's already pushed a little wide. Can I hear it in mono? Okay, so that's a good example of something that's got some nice mono to it. It doesn't sparkle as much, but it's still there. Okay, drum fills. I could probably... Oh, I already have some New York compression on these. And I think just to give it some loudness, let's put a saturator on it. I don't need OTT on it. I was thinking about that, but because I have that New York compression, that's already kind of giving me that pushed loudness. So the saturator is just kind of going to be there to push it up even that much further. So we're going to wave shape it. Turn on soft clip. And we're going to turn up the drive and just mess with it. That's way too much. So let's do like 10. So right now we're sitting really hot. Let's see. What's it at without the saturator? Yeah, so it's hot regardless. So we're going to turn that down by 5. And I can boost it. Let's turn it up like 15. And then dry wet. I probably pull back a little bit because I'm losing a little bit of the transients with that saturator. Okay, what else is in here? I'll probably have to stop after I finish this part. This clap. That's kind of a hot mix. It's really loud, so... Okay, so some stuff's kind of holding over. We want that to cut. And then this clap is holding over until the drop. So we want to cut, we want the mixer and we're going to turn off the speaker here. So that reverb doesn't fade and it's just dead silence here, except for that vocal. I think it's still riding over. Weird. It's not listening to me. Okay, well then we'll tell it to do the other thing. We're gonna do this. And then we're gonna bring it back up to 0 here, just so I don't mess that up. Okay, if you hold control, you can get fine adjustment. So I'm holding control and I get that. Get it right to 0. Okay, cool. Let's do something unique here. Let's have it cut out a little early. 'Cause, 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 'cause right there, because she kind of says "it ain't" on like an upbeat. Okay, cool. So I think that's all I have for today. I'll be back with a different track next Monday at next Monday same time. So 6:30 to 8:30 Central Standard Time. And we do have a show coming up at 7:30. We are checking out a new album from one of our buddies. So stay tuned. That's going to start at 7:30. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button or the follow button, do that now so we can get up to 400. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this. Have a great day. Peace.